Transformers Generation 2, the line that happened after Generation 1, which wasn't called that at the time, and Beast Wars. G2, of course, being a reimagining of the Transformers in an attempt to revitalize the line. And for those who didn't see my last couple G2 videos, came out like late 1992 that is, into, 93, and featured some interesting colors of characters we knew, and then brand new characters that we didn't know. But there were a lot that were planned for 1995 that didn't come out. Some were merely concept art, some were actually in prototype stage, some were even released in very limited quantities and go for a mint today. So I have 5 more G2 homages that have come out in more recent years that actually celebrate toys that were not generally available. I mean, some of them might be out there as prototypes or were released, again, very small quantities, but for the majority of us, we couldn't get them. So we're gonna go through these 5, but before I do that, I do wanna thank our sponsor of this video, Toy Hacks. Toy Hacks makes amazing decals that you can put on your original G1s to replace stickers, as well as your G2s, and even enhance the later lines, Age of the Primes, Siege, Legacy, Combiner Wars, Studio Series. They have some amazing decals, like right over here with Alpha Trion, the father of the Autobots himself, getting a glow up, kind of like a spa. Plus they have an armory and backdrops. You want to check them out at toyhacks.com. But now it's time to get into 5 more, because I did another previous video, which I'll link to at the end, G2 characters that we never got, but they made homages to anyway. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle, welcome aboard. If you've been watching a while, thanks for coming back, that's awesome. Cats may appear in the video, fair warning, but we're gonna have fun, cats or not, but we'll be right back. So the first one I want to talk about is the G2 Universe Autobot Mirage. Now, Mirage in G2, the only one that was released to the general public, was a GoBot version. This was supposed to be a recolor of the original G1. This is part of the Toxatron line that was exclusive to Walmart and is an homage to the concept art of this particular figure. I don't believe there was even a prototype made. There was, well, I don't have it. It'd be pretty expensive. And no, I haven't taken this out of the box yet. This actually came out in 2023, so for 3 years he's been trapped in here, and I'm finally letting him loose. His crime? Just, I didn't have the time. He came out, I bought him, I was gonna review him at the time, and then I reviewed other things. Now he gets to be part of a special video. So let's open this up. I'm gonna put the knife aside, because I don't like to threaten people. And as soon as I take it out, the first thing I see is a shitty piece of paper. And we're gonna get rid of that. We have instructions. And there he is on his cardboard prison, and he actually has the paper ties that were being used at the time. The box itself is a windowless box, so some of these 4 Transformers lost their heads. I actually have 2 Legacy Speedia 500 deep covers that got really scratched up somehow while never being removed from their package. Very irritating. So removing him from this box, there he is, very garishly colored. Again, I mentioned this in the last G2 homages that didn't really exist, that this kind of goes along the lines of the G2 European stuff, which was neon. But we don't need that, we don't need that. We have a gun to go into his hand, and we have a missile launcher that I wish I could figure out a way to put it on his shoulder, like the original had, the original G1, and presumably the G2 that would have come out in these colors. But since I don't have a way of doing that, I'll just give it to him as an extra gun. The missile does come out, but yes, he is very garish. He would fit right in with the G2 Sparkabots. Even some of the G1 European stuff was a little much in the color department. Like, just take a look at G1 Thunderclash. Pretty colorful. So I'm gonna give him a spin on the turntable of doom. You can see he's got his wheels. And let's go through some posability. So I am taking a look. They are calling this G2 Universe Mirage, even though he never appeared in the G2 universe. And an examination of him does not show any Autobot symbols. So he could be Shattered Glass Mirage and just, or just from an alternate universe where they never actually had a war between the Autobots and the Decepticons. They all sing Kumbaya together. No symbol, at least not revealed yet. We're going to remove the weapons and let's see how he poses. Because I don't believe I've actually necessarily did a review of this mold. I'm not sure if Crasher is based on this mold. I don't know, but we'll just go through it anyway. Full Jean-Claude Van Damme, toes up. And he does have ankle swivels, which are damn generous. He can basically do a split and have his feet flat on the ground, which isn't very helpful. But with those very generous ankle swivels, he can be in a number of interesting poses and have flat feet, which actually flat feet were considered bad. Well, it is considered bad in the human world, but apparently not for Transformers. Now he can kick forward. I'm gonna zoom this slightly out so his head doesn't bob in and out of frame. He can kick back, he can do a side kick, and even a split side kick so he can kick straight up. He's definitely got some posability there. Bending at the knee is not a problem, but be careful of the front of his shins, the front of his legs, because as part of the transformation, it moves and you can very easily, while bending his knee and moving it up to destroy the crotch of an enemy, could actually move that out of place. So just be aware of that. But he bends actually a little bit more than the regular 90 degrees. I think that would be like 86 degrees, 85 degrees, something like that. Swiveling, his legs can swivel somewhat. They can swivel all the way out, all the way around if you move it to the side. But because of how the upper thighs are constructed, you can't do it when the leg is straight up and down. That happens with a lot of these guys. Twist at the waist all the way around, though if you twist him like halfway, it's kind of really funky. Arms can go all the way around. He bends at the elbow. His arm does swivel, though you might move his spoilers a little bit. Go out to the side, so pretty nice there. And the head, of course, I would be shocked if it didn't. It goes all the way around. A very garish but interesting coloration of Mirage. Now there was a TFCon exclusive some years back. It may have been after this one came out, but it was a X-Transbot Mirage in these colors. Well, they didn't call him Mirage because they don't want to get sued. And I was wondering where those colors came from, and now I know. From the concept art that inspired this figure, and I don't know if this figure inspired that one or if it was just they also saw the same concept art and were like, wow, we want to make something that's gonna burn someone's eyeballs out. But all right, let's put him into his vehicle mode. And it's been a while since I've actually transformed this, so I may actually refer to the instructions. Don't judge. So there is G2 Universe Mirage in all his glory. And I have to say the transformation, while not bad, just getting this part to stick down is kind of a pain in the ass. I may not have used enough force in certain areas, or I used too much, but I will say, were I a race car driver and I saw this guy coming up behind me, after I stopped laughing at his colors, I would be like, oh shit, I'm gonna get out of his way because he's got like a missile launcher and some kind of gun here. I'm not gonna get killed for no race. So still pretty cool looking Autobot. And I say Autobot because he's got an Autobot symbol right there. And now we have Stormy joining us, who just decided that this is the place where he wants to lick his butt. You know, because that's how they roll. All right, hopefully he's not in the way of the roll test, because this is a car, it is a race car, and rolls pretty well. I mean, he is a race car, so he'd better roll pretty well. And including the little bobble at the end, he's like 5.5 inches long. I know I didn't measure him in robot mode because I forgot, because sometimes I do that, but you saw how tall he was. Guesstimate. So that is the first one. And not all of these are going to be in package, because some of them I did take out of package, such as this next one, which someone actually mentioned in the comments, the Decepticon Sandstorm, who is an homage to Generation 2 Sandstorm, who was never released. He was going to be yet another, like Cloudcover, repaint of Ramjet, and he was going to be released at the same time as Blackout, who was not going to be a helicopter, but a black repaint of Starscream, which would be really cool. I mean, I have the black Hobby Starscream, which is pretty cool, but he's got like gray wings. Like a stealth Blackout fighter would be really cool, but Sandstorm is cool, even though he does not resemble an Autobot triple changer. Yeah, there may be videos coming about all the Transformers that share names, but are not the same actual character. But he's about 7 inches or so in robot mode. See, I didn't forget that time. And like all the Seekers, there's no Jean-Claude Van Damme It is not happening. He tries, but it definitely fails. And I feel like I just did this because I just did this with cloud cover. But he's got ankle swivels, he's got this little flap in the front that can show off his crotch and allow him to kick forward somewhat. Kicking back is hampered by this plate here, and he can kind of do a side kick. And he bends at the knee. See ya, Stormy. And he does swivel, but only if you can move it out to the side so his wings don't hit. There's no twisting at the waist, but the arms can go all the way around as long as you angle them out because of this piece here. Arms to the side, bends at the elbow. He's got a little swivel there. His head turns all the way around. And, you know, it's a little stiff. Probably got sand in the joints because, you know.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
But yes, they used the name a popular Autobot, and they were going to use it, and they eventually did use it as an homage to a Transformer that never came out. So woohoo! Arms out to the side, free fall. All right, let's put him into his vehicle mode. This is gonna look a lot like Cloud Cover, only different colors. But it's a Seeker, and like many Transformer fans, I like Seekers. I want to have a lot of Seekers. In my opinion, they just had the live stream, and if they want to do the new mold of Thundercracker, which they're doing a Skywarp, if they want to do a Starscream and a G2 Starscream and a Blackout and a Sunstorm and an Acid Storm and an Ion Storm and a Hotline, all of them. Yes, it'll be expensive, but I will be able to take over the universe. So there he is in his jet mode. A cool looking Seeker jet. Can even use this hole in the back if he wants to try to become King Sandstorm. He's got this kind of like sand shark type thing, I guess, in the front here. Very cool deco. On his wings, he does have Decepticon symbols, which are not G2. By the way, the Autobot symbol on this guy, it's very small, but it looks like it's a G2 Autobot symbol. So these are G1 Autobot symbols, but that does not negate the fact that he's an homage to Sandstorm that was unreleased in 1995, and would love to see Blackout. I'd also love to see the jungle camo Starscream, so make that too, Hasbro. You were talking about it during the live stream, so I expect it. Pretty much anything that you conceived of, I expect it. But there he is, and if you missed the last video, he's for 8 3/4, almost 9 inches long. A very cool homage, again, to a G2 Transformer that did not exist. Our next one is the final one of the Toxatron that I'll be showing for this video, and I think it might be the final G2 Toxatron one, but he is G2 Sideswipe. They decided to make a new Sideswipe who had already been released in G2 in black colors. If you watched my regular homages to G2 characters, they have the covert clone Sideswipe, who is quite obviously an homage to the black G2. But this one is G2 Universe Sideswipe with, again, very garish colors, which, you know, I mean, if I had a car with this kind of coloration, I wouldn't care. And I'd probably get out a lot of looks. Let's check this out. Here are the instructions. Probably won't need those. Put a piece of paper. And just FYI, the next two are not in package, so we won't have to go through this with them. But for this one, we do need to snip off the ties that bind. A lot of people consider this the best Sideswipe mold, and I can't say that I really disagree. It's really a cool mold. I'm not sure if this is the Earthrise one, but very handy mold. And they used it a lot. Don't do that stuff. But as you can see, he is very, very garishly colored. His G2 Autobot symbol is on his shoulder, not on his chest, which is where it goes for most of the Sideswipes. But he is, again, from concept art, and his head, in this case, is actually Red Alert's head. That's a little lacking in color. His eyes are yellow, kind of hard to see, maybe on the camera. But if you look close, you can see that the eyes are yellow. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. So if he's got Red Alert's brain, is he like, they're trying to take my job? No! Inferno, don't leave me. Yes, I remember that episode. Auto Berserk, was it? But he is very posable. I did forget to grab his gun out and his secret stash, so, which happens to be his shoulder launcher. Now he's fully armed and doing a Jean-Claude Van Damme. So if someone says that hurts just looking at it, you can be like, this hurt more. All right, I'm getting a little silly. I do a lot of these kind of late at night. I'm tired. Been a long day. My state does have legal marijuana, which I don't partake of. I'm just throwing that out there. If you want to think that's up to you. This video does not endorse the use of marijuana or any other legal or illegal drug. This is my plastic crack. Okay, so full Jean-Claude Van Damme, the standard side swipe ankle swivels, kicking forward, kicking back, side kicks, split side kick, bending at the knee, swiveling somewhat out to the side only. Can't really swivel beyond that unless you move it way out to the side because of the construction of his thighs. And notice on the back of his legs, there's silver dots. And on the front, there's silver dots, which you can't really see unless you kind of swivel it around. You want the big dots towards the back or else he cannot put his legs together. So just a word of warning. Twist at the waist, fires his missile, and it flops worse than any of the G2s. Their springs didn't work very well for the most part. Arm goes all the way around, bends at the elbow, has a swivel, goes out to the side, does the YMCA, says "Hasta la vista, baby." His fists do not twist, and nobody's fists twist thus far. And his head goes all the way around, and then he's like, "I'm feeling much better, Optimus, with my red alert head." So, a very cool, posable, and garishly colored version of Sideswipe, G2 edition. Removing the weapons, let's get him into his vehicle mode. Oh, he's about 5 inches tall. So interestingly, these pieces of the leg, I have to kind of fold the leg up and then pull the leg back while holding to get them in the proper position so I can actually hide away the feet. And I just saw a little piece of the plastic come off, just a little disturbing. So I'm not so sure about the quality control on these guys. I actually think you want to push them the other way before you fold down the feet. Otherwise, you don't look so good. I think this might be a slightly different mold or just the legs are in an odd position. Because normally, no problems transforming this guy, but you wear that if you get one of these. So there he is in his vehicle mode. Now he's got extra weapons, so, I mean, you can put one here, and then you can put one on the side, or you can put both on the sides to make it a little more symmetrical, even though they're different types of weapons. Totally up to you. This missile has a tendency to fall out easily, but there he is in his very interesting sports car glory that definitely would turn heads were you driving a sports car with this particular paint job down the road. Roll test. Nice. Good rolling. I like it. So there you have him, G2 Universe Sideswipe, another one that would be kind of cool if they did a reissue, or if one of these companies that does reissues of originals were to create a G2 version in this coloration of the original mold. Throwing that out there. Don't think it's going to happen. But anyway, on to the next. Another toy that was not released, and in the other video, we talked about the one that was his counterpart, but this is Combat Hero Megatron. Yes. Oh, sorry, wrong Megatron. Yes, I am Megatron, leader of the Decepticons, and I will crush you with my bare hands. Yes, he's got an interesting head, like it's the head they use for the minor Megatron, but it is the siege mold that people got very sick of after a while. But the Combat Hero Megatron was supposed to come out at the same time as Combat Hero Optimus, and again, wasn't supposed to initially be called Combat Hero. It was just going to be in the same packaging as Hero Optimus and the Hero Megatron. How Megatron's a hero, I'm not sure. In his own mind, I guess he is. But came to be called the Combat Hero, and now they call this one Combat Megatron. It came out in 2019 through Generation Select. I know this stuff because I look it up and I write it down. I knew it was Generation Select. It's the years that, you know, they all blend together, man. Too much of the stuff that I don't smoke. But yes, 1995 version was supposed to be with the bellows. I'm going to remove his weaponry for the moment. He does have Megatron on his chest. I don't recall if he's got Megatron rules on the front of the tank. That would be, you know, a true homage. And I'm actually looking for any Decepticon symbols, and I can't say that I'm seeing any. Maybe one will turn up in his other mode. Full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme. Ankle swivels. Very, very generous. I have to say his feet feel less quality than other ones of this mold that I have come across. He kicks forward, he kicks back to the side, split side kick. He can bend at the knee. He swivels all the way around, twisting at the waist all the way around without a problem. Well, if you push this part in, it can interfere, but generally without a problem. His arms all the way around, not a problem. See, he's got 99 problems and the joint ain't one. And he swivels, bends at the elbow, arms go out to the sides, pretty good. Now, There we go. Had this little piece out of place. His head can go all the way around, I believe. Wait, well, no, it can't. Go side to side, but it doesn't seem to want to go further than that. But it can kind of look up a little bit because it also goes like that. Oh, there he is, the Combat Hero Homage. That is basically the Siege Megatron all over again. Yeah, he's roughly 7 inches tall, which when you put him next to Combat Hero Optimus from 2012 Generations, the homage to his counterpart, he's taller, bigger. I'm like, kick his ass. All right, time to transform. So there he is, Combat Hero Megatron in his tank form, which again is a siege tank. And he actually rolls badly. He does have wheels on the bottom here. I'm just trying to see if I have everything lined up properly. Doesn't roll the best, doesn't roll the worst, but there he is. An homage to another toy we didn't get. Unfortunately, I don't see anyone making even the original one as a reproduction, so we're not going to get the one that we didn't get. Say, Lovey, at least we got something. Not complaining about any of these guys because more Transformers is more Transformers. The final one, I'm actually going to go back to 2015. To Sgt. Hound. Now, Sgt. Hound is basically an homage to an Autoroller. He was going to be a payloader that you basically rolled forward and he would transform. It's going to be kind of like white. These colorations. This is actually a Botcon exclusive. It came with another G2. Unfortunately, I don't have that one. General Optimus Prime. This is Sgt. Hound. Oddly, General Optimus Prime had more Hound colors than this Hound. But he was a payloader. The General was to be a dump truck. And this is actually a repaint of Generations Scoop, who's a Targetmaster. So he's actually comes with Targetmasters, and they're quite cleverly named. This is Dia, this is Klein. So Dia Klein. And you could kind of also put them together, and you can actually take off the hand pretty easily too. Wasn't the best mold in the world. Luckily, things popped right back into place. But there should be a method of combining them into one weapon. And quite honestly, I don't remember how to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Because the main thing is the Sgt. Hound here, because these were not part of the whole G2 experience. Though they're decent little Targetmaster figures on their own. I guess Botcon decided they would include these guys rather than leave him weaponless. But he is about 5 inches tall, and these guys, they can move their arms around a little bit. There's ball joints here. The legs don't really move. That's about all the articulation on those guys. With Hound, there are no ankle swivels, so we're not even going to bother with that. Can he do a full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme? He tries, but he fails. Bit of an angle. And yes, he's got a flat ass. He can kick forward and back though pretty well. You can do a side kick using both legs. You can get pretty high. He does bend at the knee. You need to be careful. Part of the transformation is this, so you can actually kind of almost fold over his leg like that. And there is a swivel, so that is nice. Twisting at the waist happens without a problem, and his arms go all the way around. So you got to kind of maneuver with the shovel. Bends at the elbow somewhat. There is a swivel, and his head, though stiff, will turn all the way around. So I'm going to give him a spin on the turntable of doom. He's going to almost fall over, but I'll catch him. And let's see if he looks like as a payloader. So there is Sgt. Hound in payloader mode. One of the neat things is he's got inside his shovel the G2 Autobot symbol, and it does say Autobot. And it also says, I think it says Army? Yes, it says Army on the top. This is an Army payloader, and it has a star right there. Interesting. And it also says Walt. I think that was an homage to somebody, but I don't recall offhand who it was. He stays together for the most part. He does have these little posts on the side that go into the arms, and then other posts that go into the shoulders, and yeah, pretty much stays. I'm gonna do the roll test, and we'll put the weapons on. Not too bad for rolling. And again, an homage to something that we didn't have before with bonus Targetmaster weapons, Dia and Klein. So you don't get it, Dia Cologne, but you got it. I didn't really have to explain that. So trying to insert his weapons, not as easy as you might think. It's been a long time since I have examined this mold, either as Hound or as Scoop. Almost feels like the holes are slightly too small. Shut up, Logan. Or they're supposed to go way down here, which makes no sense. So I tell you what, I'm not going to attach them. I mean, I realize it's an Army payloader, but even Army payloaders have like big guns on the sides. So this is a Botcon exclusive, so you could argue it's not a general release. It was an exclusive from a con, but it is an homage to something that was not really released either. It was supposed to come out, of course, you know, in probably 95. They already had the other Autorollers, but these were going to be named after classic characters. And there you have it. So again, if they were not released in G2, are they really G2? I mean, I would probably just change the names on these guys, call them something else, and add them to my army. And this guy is just a Megatron sim. What can you do? I'm sure he's got plenty of those. For every Starscream, there's one of these. So there you have it, 5 more homages to G2 Transformers that actually didn't come out. Are there more? Yeah, there's a couple more. And I'm gonna see if I can get together those for another video. But this is what we have for now. And I do want to thank our sponsor, Toy Hacks, for sponsoring this video, and check them out. They've got amazing upgrade stickers for the newer stuff, as well as replacement stuff for G1 and G2 Transformers, the original ones, not these. So I'm sure they have some for these that would make them glow up. I mean, Mirage needs help and a paint job, but they're not going to do that. And they have an armory and backdrops. Check them out at toyhacks.com. And while you are mulling over these guys, which I am putting links in the description so you can find these guys, track them down if you'd like them, you can actually check out the other video of 5 G2 homages to toys that didn't come out. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.